10 Minutes Till Dawn, a fast-paced roguelite bullet hell type game. Developed by Flan, it's the type of games most developers aim to create. Easy to pick up, hard to master. But fuck that, you're gonna chase it, baby! If you're a pussy with zero skills and even less patient like me, this guide is for you. Step 1. Play the game for like 10 minutes. The game has a special currency called Chromium. You get Chromium at the end of each round based on how many eldritch horrors you've murdered and how long you lasted. You need 1350 Chromium to buy the Cheesemaster herself. Diamond. Step 2. Choosing Diamond. Diamond is a unique character in that she has no discernible qualities or gimmicks other than being swole as fuck. A normal player would simply become better at the game. But you, yes you my dear viewer, you are special. You don't care, you just want that sweet dopamine release after lasting 10 minutes in bed. Anyway, so Diamond starts with 7 hearts, which is worth exactly 2 other characters. This amount of HP makes her a great starting point for new players and a great safety net for an inevitable fuck up. Step 3. Upgrades. The central mechanic in 10 Minutes Till Dawn is that your characters accumulate upgrades as they collect EXP from murders and gaining levels. It is imperative that you focus on hyper offense due to its importance once the 5-minute mark hits. Normally having some form of defense would be encouraged, but Diamond is so massive she don't need no defense and just needs to be roided the fuck up with the right upgrades to become a monster. Luckily, the game encourages hardcore steroid usage and organizes all upgrades into nice little skill trees. These skill trees are not created equal. So here's a quick list as to what are some of the best trees you can invest in. Number 1. The multi-shot tree. Pick this one up as early as possible, especially if you're using single shot weapons. Usually double shot is enough of a boost in itself to make this worth it. If you really want, you can max it out and go for Folisade, but it's not worth it at that point. Number 2. The damage tree. Power shot in itself is already really good, but to reach its full potential you're gonna have to acquire the Reaper Rounds upgrade, which makes you an unstoppable monster. Along the way there, I recommend picking up the Big Shot upgrade instead of Splinter, as Big Shot just has more utility and more damage. Number 3. The Vision Tree. This one's truly phenomenal and functions both as great offense and incredible defense. Even the basic glare is such a boost in the early game that there's just no reason not to get it. And getting glare alongside intense glare and saccade is pretty much the definition of cheese alongside the weaponry tree, which really just does the same thing as the vision tree, except it like seeks the enemies out instead for you. When you combine the two, they synergize incredibly well. And as a side note, the weapons tree has more damage potential, especially if you're using a high damage weapon like a grenade launcher. You can basically one-shot most opponents just by literally being around them. Yeah, these are the useful trees generally speaking, but some other ones that can be really helpful in a picky situation are, for example, the speed tree. Haste and run and gun are super useful if you're using weapons with high ammo counts, like the given pistol or a grenade launcher. Another one that's really useful is the reload tree. It's usually nice to have a bit of extra bullets to fall back on and to load them in faster. Then there's the bullet speed tree, which really just speeds up the whole game. You can kill monsters way faster and your bullets go farther, so you can basically make a shotgun into a shitty sniper. And then the final one is the health tree or the holy shield tree. Really, you choose which one you want. I would generally encourage holy shield instead, as it's a bit easier to acquire as well. It just drops more often and it regenerates if you get the final upgrade for it. Alright, so step 4, gaming time. The game can be divided into essentially 3 parts. The first part is the first 5 minutes of the game. It's basically just setup time for the late game. Really, I just recommend picking up as many damage upgrades as you can, and maybe glare too, or the weaponry upgrades, because they're just super useful. Really, you just have to do it. The game throws one mini-boss hit you at exactly 7 minutes. But yeah, this one's a pushover and should have no problem killing it. Part 2, the 5-minute command. Here, the game locks you into an area where you have to fight a boss. The boss should be pretty easy to kill due to your upgrades and being swole as fuck. So the area really is just a nice way of grinding more EXP for the latest game. Once the boss is killed, it drops a tome, but let's not really get into it. The tomes are generally speaking useless. And once the arena lifts, the enemy spawn rate gets brutally maximized and a lot of new foes show up, like some Terraria like Eye of Cthulhu ripoffs that shoot like balls at you. And then part 3. Run. Once you've hit that 2-minute mark, run. Run straight through your problems. A good motto here would be gotta go fast, eat fast, because if you aren't running, you're fucking dying. And that's it. You've done it. You've successfully cheesed the game using the most bare bones method possible. You truly are a Giga Chad, dear viewer. As a last note, there are aspects of the games that I've ignored, like the weapons or permanent upgrades or tomes, but mostly because they're not necessary to beat the game and the player starting out wouldn't really have access to them. Thank you viewers for watching this dogshit tutorial.